I just spent hundreds of dollars testing and comparing every AI SEO writer I could find, and the results were not what I expected. You'd be wasting your money. I can't believe people actually pay for this. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today's video, we're going to be diving deep into the world of AI SEO writers. You've probably seen the ads out there. Rank first on Google, 10x your content with AI, beat your competition. Well, today we're going to find out exactly how. But here's the thing. Most reviews out there are just affiliates trying to make a quick buck. They haven't actually tried and tested these products or used them in their own business. So today I thought I'd put my money where my mouth is. So today we're going to be going through over 30 different AI writers to find out exactly which one of them performs the best for SEO. Each one of these writers gets tested with the exact same brief, tracking 3 different levels of competition keywords and scoring them inside a content optimizer, along with a readability test and a final score based on criteria which I'll go through in just a moment. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly which AI SEO writers are worth your money and which ones are just, well, so next let's take a look at the plan. Okay guys, so let's get into it. So I just want to give you an overview of the process of how to actually test these AI writers, and also some of the factors that I'm looking out for, or what I want to see from an AI writer myself that could be useful if you are planning to use AI writers for SEO, which you absolutely should be, by the way. So what we're going to do is we've got a copy of my results here, and as you can see, we score 3 different articles, and we also score 3 different readability tests. We give them an average, and we also have factored in my kind of personal opinion as well. We can see all the writers are graded here, and this is in order, so I'll be revealing the names as we go along. But essentially what we're doing is we're testing 3 different levels of competition keywords, and then using a tool called Neuron Writer, which is a really good content optimizer, guys, to assess the SEO score. So we're just simply pasting the articles straight from the AI writers into Neuron Writer with absolutely no editing whatsoever, just complete fairness to see exactly what scores they get out of the box. And then we're also pasting them into Hemingway to find out what the readability score is. And of course, I'm reading the articles myself too, and just finding out in terms of being a human being, how the articles read, is there any AI buzzwords, repetition and things like that. So those are the tests. My personal score is a combination of factors. How usable is the platform? How friendly is the UX? How easy was it to get up and running and started? Of course, the readability of the content. You know, if I see an article that starts off with, in today's digital landscape, or in today's digital world, okay, it's surefire telltale sign that it's AI written, and don't really want to be seeing that human-like output. Of course, price. Now, price is something that I don't really talk about too much in the reviews, because I think, first of all, price is subjective, but also the majority of these writers are in the same kind of bracket. If there is an outlier, for example, something's really expensive or something's very cheap, I will, of course, mention that and factor that in. And then any additional features, such as agency-specific features that would be good for like team collaboration, reporting, given to clients, etc. Autoblogging, that type of thing. Okay, just any nice extra bells and whistles. Of course, I'll be touching upon these points during the review. It's worth noting that you may or may not be watching the longer or shorter version of the video. There's going to be 2 versions of this video out there, guys. There's going to be one where I kind of just do an overview, and there's going to be one where I go into each tool and actually use them for you to see. So depending on which one you're watching, let me know in the comments below. And just one last thing about the process. So what I'm looking for from an AI SEO writer is this process here. I want the AI writer to do as much of the work as possible with as little manual tuning. Okay, so the process I want to see is, I want to see the AI writer take a keyword. I wanted to then do a SERP analysis. So I wanted to parse the top ranking results for this keyword inside Google, inside the search engines, and then create a content outline based off that. The reason this is important is because Google's already ranking these other articles, right? So there's a reason they're ranking. So if you build your outlines based on what's already proven to work, then that's a really, really good start. And it's going to get you better results than if it just created an outline, you know, from here, there, and everywhere, okay? Some of the AI writers do this, the SERP analysis, some of them don't, and there's a big separation, in my opinion, from the ones that do it to the ones that don't, but you'll find that out. Also, I want the AI writer to add images, videos, external, internal links, basically just do as much of the work as possible. And then, of course, being able to use the AI itself to actually edit the article after the fact. Again, some of AI writers have this, some don't, okay? And this is one of the reasons I'm doing this video, is because some of the AI writers follow this process, and the ones that do are generally towards the top of the list. The ones that don't are generally towards the bottom, and that's no coincidence, okay? Just one final word before we actually go in and start the rankings from 30 to 1. There were a few AI writers I found which I weren't able or won't be testing in this video. So the first one is, of course, Neuron Writer itself. In the interest of fairness, I wanted to pick a content optimizer and then paste all the articles in here just to be consistent, okay? I could have used Surfer, I could have used Frase, but I actually really wanted to review those because they're heavyweight players in the game. Neuron Writer is a great content optimizer. In my opinion, it's not so good at actually writing the articles, which is why I thought it was perfect for this test. So no Neuron Writer in today's video. The second one I'm not testing is Contender Scale, now known as Brandwell. The reason being is I'm actually an ex-full-time employee of Contender Scale, now known as Brandwell, and in the interest of fairness, probably best leave it out. What I will say is it is one of the best ones for sure, but we won't be looking at that in today's video. Zimwriter. So a lot of people use Zimwriter, and I think it got a lot of traction because it was out for a while on a lifetime deal. I used it about a year ago, or maybe 18 months ago, and tested it, and to be honest with you, I wasn't impressed. When I tried to sign up for the platform to do this video, to add it to the list, I wasn't actually able to access it. So Zimwriter, the way you sign up for it is really, really weird. You get it through a course selling platform called Gumroad. I'm not sure why they're selling software through Gumroad, to be honest with you. I didn't know that was a thing. Unfortunately, Gumroad, or the process to actually buy and purchase the platform, it just would not work for me. I think it's because I live in Asia and my bank account's obviously not in Asia, and it had some location issues and just wouldn't verify my card. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to use Zimwriter. I have used it before, and just being honest with you, it would probably be in the bottom half of this list. So in all fairness, I don't think you're missing out on anything, but there we go. The fourth one I'm not able to test is onpage.ai by Traffic Research. So I'm inside the dashboard for this now, and this is kind of like a dummy dashboard with placeholder information. The reason I'm not testing it is because of purely the price. At $250 a month for the minimum plan and no free trial. It says it has a free trial, but then it takes you into this and you can't actually create any articles. So for me, forking over $250 just to test isn't really working for me. I've heard it's pretty good, but to be honest with you, if you want to go ahead and spend $250 to test it, that's up to you. I have heard, since I recorded the reviews for these videos, they have put some additional pricing plans out there, but it's still really expensive, and well, it's kind of up to you, right? But for me, it was too rich for me for this test today. And the fifth one, which I was a bit disappointed about, is Long-Form AI by SurgeGraph. I just cannot even access the website, let alone access the tool. I get this error every single time, which is really weird. I've tried a couple of different things. Maybe it doesn't like my location out here in Asia. Unfortunate, as I was really looking forward to test this tool, but I just cannot get onto the website. So there you go. So other than that, I think we're good now to actually start the countdown or AI writers and get through each individual one. And if you have any questions for this video, of course, please feel free, losing my words there, to ask or leave a comment in the description below, and I'll try to answer it the best of my ability. But other than that, let's get into it. In last place, at number 30 on the list, it's Copy AI. Now, Copy AI is probably one of the most famous AI generative tools out there, but it's just not really that suited for SEO. And in fact, recently they've seemed to have moved towards more AI automations and workflows and things like that. It scored really poorly on the first test I did. I probably could have got it better with some additional prompting, but to be honest with you, I don't really want to be doing that. That's not the point of an AI writer, okay? So ultimately, it finished last, and I would not recommend it for SEO. Number 29, Trolly AI. Trolly's been around for a while, and it's pretty much the same as when I used it a couple of years ago. To be honest with you, it's no frills. There's not too much about it. There's not many customization options. It is easy to use, but the SEO scores were really poor. The AI title generations were awful, and to be honest with you, I would not recommend it for SEO. I don't think it's usable. Number 28, Wordplay. Well, first of all, the UI looks like it was designed by a child. It looks like somebody basically created this product in a day. It's the only one here on the list that has a lifetime deal, and to be honest with you, I can see why. It's kind of a weird workflow. Took quite a while to get to actually producing the article from doing the outline and stuff. No images and links and things. Definitely not an autoblogger. There's just simply much better out there, and the readability scores were terrible too. Not recommended for SEO. Number 27, Humanwriter. Quite a weird product. It's one of those ones where you have to plug your own API key in from something like OpenAI. I really don't like when you have to do that. At the end of the day, if you're already paying for a product on a monthly fee, it should eat that cost and take care of it for you. Ultimately, the UI is very, very dated, quite a weird product. Output was poor, readability was poor. I would not recommend this product for SEO. Number 26, Drafthorse. I heard a few things about Drafthorse. The owner and founder, Cody, is very active on Twitter, has an active YouTube channel, and seems to be a very good guy, a knowledgeable guy, and gives lots of business tips. He has another product called Swell AI, which I think is his main focus, and I think that's a lot better because Drafthorse simply wasn't it. The workflow for the platform was really confusing to start. It was no frills, not a lot of options, and the output was just filled with AI buzzwords. Not recommended for SEO. Number 25, Jasper. So I reviewed Jasper a while ago and it was absolutely garbage. And to be honest with you, it wasn't that bad this time. In fact, the product is actually very pleasant and easy to use. If you're using generative AI for other functions, such as writing social media posts and things like that, Jasper is actually really good. The problem is it's just not built for SEO, the same as Copy AI is not built for SEO. The output gives you an introduction, but no table of contents, no conclusion and things like that. But it did give you a one-click blog outline, which it didn't do before, which is really, really nice. I have to say the SEO scores weren't too bad. Ultimately, it's just not built for SEO, and there's just a lot better out there. Number 24, Yazo. I have to admit, I didn't know too much about Yazo. I only found it when I was searching for additional AI writers to do this test with. It had probably one of the worst sign-up processes of any platform on here. I had to click on a bunch of different stuff to even get into the AI writer. It wouldn't accept Google sign-up. Guys, come on. It's 2025. And then I had to re-sign in once I'd corrected everything up, and then it greeted me with an additional, I don't know, data processing screen or something like that, which I had to agree with. Ultimately, the platform was quite basic, although I will say it did do outlines quite well, and it scored decently on the first test I made. What happened when I tried to do the second and third articles is I kept getting an error every single time, and I wasn't actually able to create another article after the first one. I went back, I tried it again the next day, the same issue. Ultimately, I just would not use this platform. Number 23, Penfriend. So Penfriend was one of the weirder entries on this test. Kind of a weird flow to how to generate an article. Very, very strange overall, I have to say. It's something you're going to have to go and test for yourself if you want to see it. There was one thing I really, really liked, and they actually had the AI, I believe it was called Penny, and they made suggestions for each section of how or what to suggest or what to put into each piece of the article. Really, really nice idea, and not something that a lot of the writers were doing. Maybe they can take note of that. The one bad thing, or the main bad thing about Penfriend, though, is that you can't edit your article. There's no content editor. It's the only one on this entire list where you can't edit the article. Unless I've just missed something massively. To me, that is just, I mean, look, there's no point in even talking further. I just would not use this for SEO. Guys, if the owner or the founder of Penfriend is watching, please put a content editor in. Number 22, Longshot's been around for a while. I tested it before and I wasn't impressed, and to be honest with you, I kind of had the same impression when I tested it again today. The articles took quite a while to generate, and also the articles came out as a completely different word count to what I selected. I think I selected 1500 and it came back as like 3300. It has some good templates and actually generates a good outline. Ultimately, the SEO scores just weren't that great, and the readability wasn't that great either. Overall, there's nothing too wrong with Longshot. There's just much, much better on the list. Overall, I would not recommend this for SEO. Number 21, Autoblogging. I have to say this is one of the biggest shocks for me on this list because I had heard a lot about Autoblogging and it's actually backed by some of the biggest names in SEO. First of all, the platform kind of annoyed me already because I had a really awful sign-up process. You have to sign up twice. Yes, twice. Once for your subscription and once for the platform to actually get in and use it, okay? Come on, guys, sort that out. And also, when I went in, I tried to generate an article and I found out I had no credits. You then had to redeem a code to get your credits. Guys, this is not good UX or onboarding at all, right? You know, if you want to keep customers, you need to sort that out. And to be honest with you, that was kind of only the start of the problems. The UX UI is really, really weird. The flow is also really weird too. It needs improving. I wasn't actually sure if my article was generated or not. There was no kind of flow, there was no pop-up, there was no next. What happened was there was this small green write-in in amongst all the options that said my article was generated. And then I had to check a different menu entirely to find out where the article was. I used their godlike mode, which is their best possible output, which I think takes double the amount of credits for the best possible result. And I have to say, it did get a good SEO score at first. However, the human readability on all 3 articles was by far the worst of any on this list, and it was full of AI buzzwords in today's digital world, in today's digital landscape, okay? And it wasn't just the worst on one article, it was the worst on all 3 of the entire list. I changed some settings up and tried to make the content better, but it was still, the readability on Hemingway and from my own reading was still absolutely awful. I have to say, this was one of the biggest disappointments of today for me, considering this platform is really well known and again is also used by a lot of people for SEO. For me, I would not use this at all for any kind of SEO purposes. Number 20, Content Sprout. Kind of a weird UI, I'm not going to lie. Why the initial options would just be 3 YouTube videos, I don't know. It should be create an article or something like that. But anyway, that's up to them. When I signed up, it had probably the worst credit system I've seen of any writer on here, okay? Now, you'd think that 1 credit equals 1 article, right? Or that's how it is for the majority of the platforms on this, but not for Content Sprout. So I went ahead and purchased my 3 credits for my 3 articles to do this test. Well, it turns out that each article is in fact 7 credits. 7. I don't know why they pluck this random number out of the air, but 7 credits for 1 article. So obviously my 3 credits was not going to be enough for 3 articles. In fact, it also took a credit to generate the outline. What it did do well is it allowed you to scrape your competitors for outlines, which is really, really important, and one of the things I talked about at the beginning of this video. So at least that was good. But ultimately, the pricing for Content Sprout is quite frankly ridiculous. In fact, the only time it makes it worth it is if you subscribe to the $129 a month plan or above, and even then, it's still not really that good. Overall, I only tested 1 article with Content Sprout because, hey, I wasn't going to buy even more credits. And to be honest with you, there was a lot better on this list. There was nothing really about Content Sprout that stood it out from the competition. And quite frankly, I just didn't want to continue with it. So overall, I would not use Content Sprout for SEO. Number 19, Anyword. So Anyword is very well known in the same way that Jasper and Copy AI are in terms of being a generative AI machine. Not specifically built for SEO, but I thought I would test it out anyway. It actually had surprisingly decent SEO scores, and the flow of the product was actually really good. So I think, again, if you're doing general marketing and things like that, Anyword would actually be pretty good. One thing I will say is that Wordplay was really good at suggesting facts that they think your audience might want to know based on the article research, and it did citations really well too, so there was that. So I think there is something there with Anyword. It's up to you whether you want to use it for SEO or not. It's definitely not an autoblogger. It doesn't do all of a lot of the things I suggested in the first part of this video, adding all the links, etc. But there is some potential there. So even though I'm not going to recommend Anyword for SEO, there's definitely a product there. Number 18, Outranking. So I've heard of Outranking before, and it talks a big game on the website. And when I got in there, I was surprised to see probably one of the most complicated UIs on the list. I didn't like it at all. It was far too cluttered, and I didn't really know where anything was. It took almost 20 minutes to go from keywords to outline generation to article generation, and ultimately the SEO scores were not that good to justify the long wait. It's not really an autoblogger either, although it did score well on the VPN article, which is the high competition article, so not a total miss, there's just simply better out there. I would not recommend Outranking for SEO. Number 17, Machined. Right, okay, so this is probably the one that disappointed me the most out of any on this list, okay? So I actually only recently found out about Machined. I saw them on Twitter, or some people are speaking about them on Twitter, and I'd already started recording these reviews by the time I knew about it, but I wanted to fit them in as well because it's a really unique writer and it does things in a unique way. And how it does that is it builds content clusters and then basically interlinks your articles between those clusters, okay? I would highly recommend you go and try this out, even though it's down in 17th place, because it offers something different to any other AI writer out here. The flow is just so different. It gives you really relevant, up-to-date information such as keyword difficulty and volume, and actually formats the output the best of any writer on this list. I was really hoping it was going to surprise me and give me some good SEO scores and some good readability. Unfortunately, it bombed completely, and actually the SEO scores were even worse than what this position is that I've given the product. The reason I ranked them a bit higher, well, quite a bit higher than what the SEO scores and the readability scores suggested, is I feel like this product has got so much potential. They got everything right apart from the output itself. So if you are involved in machined AI at all, please sort out the output, guys, because you really could have a winner here, because I absolutely loved everything else about it, apart from using the API keys. It's another one of those API key products. 16, Macaw. So Macaw is kind of an outlier on this list because I recently saw it on Twitter and it claims to be, the AI writer for human-like content or for human readable content. So that doesn't necessarily mean it's an expert at SEO. And to be honest with you, it's not. First of all, it has quite a weird onboarding process. In fact, you can't even access the platform without entering in a website. Okay, that was kind of annoying, but when I did enter in a website, it did give me a really good summary of the website, and I have to say the content was very human-like. On the test, it didn't perform very well at all, so I think it needs some work there. But producing this kind of human-like content, because I have to say, when I was reading through it myself, it read very well. It might not be that appealing to SEO scores or even to Google, but I think the way SEO is moving, right, guys, I think right now we're in a stage of where SEO is just simply over-optimized, right? What I think Google need to do is I think we need to take a couple of steps back and get back to writing for humans. Now, if that happens, which I hope it does, then Macaw might be top of the pile, because they've definitely got something there with their formulas behind the scenes that makes the content very human-like. But for now, for SEO, I would not recommend it. Number 15, blog SEO. So again, this is one of the newer ones. It recently won Product Hunt, or it came second on Product Hunt Product of the Day, which is always a good sign. I have to say, I really enjoyed using blog SEO. Very nice, smooth UI, and the process to go from keyword to actual article generation is one of the easiest and best and most fluid on the list. One of the things, though, is that it didn't score as highly as I thought it might on SEOs and also on readability. There's definitely work to be done there. In fact, it gave me these mammoth articles back. I think one was over 4,500 words when I only asked for 1,500 or only asked for 2,000. Okay? So I think there's definitely some work to be done there. But what I'm going to say is I'm not going to say I'm not recommending it. I'm going to put this on the one to watch because this is a new product. And if they've got something that it's this good already, then it's only going to improve. So I would say blog SEO, if you're a beginner or if you want something that's really easy to use, I would recommend it for you. And we're starting to get into the good stuff now. Number 14, Writesonic. So Writesonic is one of the powerhouses on this list, definitely one of the most well-known on here, and it's used by some big companies and big names. But straight off the bat, it would not let me access the platform or log in whilst I was using an ad blocker. Guys, come on, right? Don't do that. But once I got in, there's lots of different SEO options. In fact, when I was generating the articles, it went through all the stages of the process that I wanted to when I explained at the start of the video. I wanted to enter in a keyword, I wanted to do SERP analysis, I wanted to generate an outline, etc., go from step to step. And it actually showed me that the AI writer was doing all these things. It's also got a big suite of SEO tools, so it's definitely geared towards marketing teams and agencies. Overall, there was a lot to like about Writesonic. However, the SEO scores weren't as strong as what I had expected from a platform of this gravitas. I think they need to do some work on their output, and ultimately, even though I am going to recommend it for SEO, there's just better platforms out there. Number 13, Blaze. Okay, so Blaze, again, completely took me by surprise. It has one of the most fun UIs I've ever seen. And in fact, the product has fun written all over it in every single menu. It's just a very unique product. The designers did a great job with Blaze, and I was very happy to start using it. I would call Blaze the Canva of AI writers. It's not built for SEO, and I don't think that was ever the intention, but it can do a lot in terms of social media posts. One of the cool things about it is it would turn your long form SEO blog post into 50 different other content types in just one click. Like I say, the Canva of AI writers, really fun to use. I think if I was running a social media agency or involved in lots of different social media accounts, Blaze would definitely be high up on my list. Overall, I had a lot of fun using Blaze. It scored really well on one of the tests, but unfortunately did not do so well on a couple of the other SEO tests. So I probably would not recommend it for SEO, but I absolutely would recommend it for just general content creation and social media for sure. Overall, Blaze, very fun. Number 12, Copymatic. Copymatic, very simple and easy to use, and had a lot of different generative AI options such as email writing. The output was good quality but lacked frills and bells and whistles that some of the other AI writers had. Not too many custom options, but I will say that Copymatic is a solid choice for beginners and people who want a product that's easy to use. Ultimately, there was nothing really wrong with Copymatic. There was just simply stronger on the list. And as we go down further on the list, the competition is really, really tight. So overall, I would recommend Copymatic for SEO. I just think there's simply better out there. Number 11, Byword. Okay, Byword had a very, very clean and sleek looking UI. It reminded me of one of those minimalist rooms, you know, where people, they have nothing in and they're all right. Very, very slick, very, very smooth. I will say that it doesn't have anywhere near the level of customization options that I would expect from an AI SEO writer. In fact, I think that the single article generation is a little bit lacking. However, it seems very, very good and very geared towards bulk content updating. So if you're planning on producing hundreds of articles in different niches and things like that, then I would recommend Byword for that use. One thing I will say about Byword is that it had kind of a unique style of output. I don't really know how to put my finger on it. It was kind of like the language it was using. It was a little bit different from a lot of the writers on the list and not what I was expecting. Now, whether that's a good or a bad thing is kind of up to the reader, right? But I noticed it, and even though it scored decently and quite well on the SEO scores and readability, I did notice some AI buzzwords in there. So I think they would need to remove those to make it better. Overall, I would recommend Byword for SEO, but there's definitely better on the list. Number 10, Cuppa. Okay guys, congratulations, we've made it to the top 10. From here on in, I would recommend every single product for SEO and in fact for other things too. This is where things really kind of hot up, and as we go through the top 10, the competition is very fierce and there's actually quite little to separate some of these options. So I'm going to talk a little bit more in depth about some of these things just so you get a better idea about why I've placed certain products in certain positions. Of course, the SEO scores and the readability scores play a big factor in that, but it's not just those things, right? You need kind of other things as well. So let's talk about it. So first of all, Cuppa, what I didn't like it's another one of those add your own API key platforms. Okay, guys, I've said this before, right? If you're already paying monthly for a platform, it should eat that cost. But okay, that's just me nitpicking, all right? Overall, there was a lot to like about Cuppa, okay? It had a lot of different customization options. I particularly like the local SEO features on the platform where you're actually able to build out local pages for local businesses that have things like local services, Google Maps integration, that sort of thing. So that was really cool. The editor was nice and clean and the content was formatted really, really well. And I have to say this SEO scores were decent and I enjoyed using it overall apart from the API keys. There was some dead giveaways for AI related buzzwords in there though. Maybe if I'd used the platform longer or got more familiar with it, I could have got a better result. Overall, I enjoyed using Cuppa, so that's why I've put it in my top 10 and I would recommend it for SEO. Number 9, Hypotenuse AI. So Hypotenuse is a bit of a juggernaut on this list. It's backed by a very famous venture capital called the Y Combinator to do with Reddit and companies like that. They're based in Singapore and they've recently pivoted to be the AI writer for e-commerce stores. So even though they scored very highly on SEO, it's not that geared towards SEO anymore, which I guess really is a testament to the strength of the platform. The SEO scores were actually higher than what I've placed it, which is a bit unusual to place a product lower than its SEO scores, but I'll tell you why in a second. So what I liked about Hypotenuse is the product is very, very polished, everything is smooth, everything just simply works. The AI workflow is exactly how I wanted it, except for one thing. To get the SERP analysis, you would have to subscribe to the $230 a month plan. $230 a month, guys. No. And that's one of the reasons why it didn't place higher than what it did, is because to get all the features, and that is one of the reasons why I didn't rank it as high as it should have been done, because of, I think, to use or have all the features you need for SEO, such as the SERP analysis, $230, guys, I'm not going to do that, right? So unless you're part of an agency or part of a team with budget, which I think Hypotenuse is perfect for, I perhaps give this one a miss, even though it is really, really good. What I will say though is Hypotenuse is not entirely for SEO anymore. It has pivoted towards e-commerce. So its specialty is things like bulk updating Amazon product descriptions and things like that, right? So if you're heavily into e-commerce and you want the product side, then Hypotenuse is probably the tool for you. Overall, I really enjoyed using it, but for SEO, I would say definitely for the price, there's better out there. Number 8, Agility Writer. So I've used Agility Writer before and it was really good back then, and it's also really good now, okay? I would say it's has all the customization options that you need. So it doesn't have a lot of unnecessary stuff. It has the things that you would find useful. You can also do things like switch model, etc., and stuff you would expect from a top SEO writer. I had a really good SEO score for the first article straight off the bat, and as standard for these tests, I do one article straight off the bat, and then for the other articles, I kind of play around with the features just to make it fair. Unfortunately, what happened is when I turned some of the features on and off and things like that, the SEO scores went right down and actually went below a lot what I expected. So kind of opposite to Hypotenuse, whereas I scored Hypotenuse lower than what the SEO score suggested, I've scored Agility higher than what the SEO score suggested because I know it can do so much more. So even though I think I could have done a lot better, and Agility Writer could have done a lot better, I think to be where it is probably where it deserves. So overall, I would recommend Agility Writer, and if you're already using this product, then you've already picked a great AI writer, in my opinion. Number 7, Frase. So Frase is also not just an AI writer, it's a content optimizer similar to Surfer and also similar to Neuron Writer. So not just an AI writer. It's definitely one of the most expensive writers on this list, and as well as the initial subscription, I had to pay extra for the AI credits to write articles, not just for the optimization. So again, I would say Frase is geared to more towards marketing teams and SEO agencies than it is for individuals. I have to say the content editor was extremely smooth and feature rich. In fact, it was probably my favorite content editor from the entire list. It was just really, really awesome. I enjoy using Frase a lot. It was very thorough in generating things like the outlines, and it also used AI to generate the instructions for the outlines too. And it had some of the best SERP analysis on the list, which I really, really loved. Inside the editor itself, it had things like being able to pick internal links and put them in automatically, which I thought was really, really awesome. Ultimately, in terms of the AI writer itself, which is what we're testing here, I was a little bit disappointed by the output. It scored highly on some of the tests, but not so highly on some of the others, and I think it could have done a lot better. So overall, I think Frase, I've moved Frase up a few bumps from where the SEO scores said it should be, but I think there's a lot of potential for Frase, and like I say, with the editor included, and if you have the budget, I think it's a really, really strong option. So I would highly recommend Frase for SEO. Number 6, Scalenut. So Scalenut is another optimizer and AI writer. In fact, it has a full suite of SEO tools. It scored very solidly SEO scores across the board, and also was very human readable as well. I actually liked Scalenut a lot, and it was one of the surprises for me on this test to come up as highly as it did. The one thing I didn't like about Scalenut is that the UI is very crazy. There's a lot of information out there. It's a bit like, you know, Frankenstein's monster, but for serious SEOs and SEO teams who understand and need all those different dashboards, it reminds me of the traders with their 3 dashboards with all the numbers everywhere and you don't really know what's there. Okay, it's not that bad, but maybe I'm talking it down a bit much because I liked using Scalenut a lot and the output was really good. To finish number 6 out of all these AI writers is a very good job done indeed, and I would highly recommend using Scalenut for SEO. Number 5, this is where things get really serious. SEO writing. So I've seen SEO writing a lot on YouTube and on affiliate marketing sites. It seems like it's getting reviewed a lot, and it always gets good reviews, and for good reason. Very, very similar UI to Agility Writer. Eerily similar. I wonder who copied who. But anyway, SEO writing was just simply good across the board. It had very good SEO scores. It had one of the most human-like outputs I've seen on the test, which is, you know, testament to how good the product is. And it's also probably one of, if not the most affordable on here as well. So if you're budget conscious, then SEO writing is definitely one to try out. Number 4, Surfer. So Surfer SEO needs no introduction. It is a 10-ton gorilla in the SEO world, and for good reason. So they have had probably the best and most well-known content editor or optimizer out there for a long time, and now they have entered the world of AI writers. So when I originally tested Surfer's AI writer, when it first came out a while back, a couple of years ago, it was absolutely hot garbage. It really was. I'm really happy to say that they've improved it massively, and I think they've had the budget and the resources to do that. They've had a data science team working on the output. I saw in one of their presentations here in Thailand, and they've done a really, really good job. It absolutely knocked the SEO scores out of the park, in particular for the third article. So for best VPNs, for the high competition article, it finished first by a landslide, okay? So it did not care that it was high competition. What I will say for that article, though, it's been a long time researching it, and I guess for good reason, because the output was just spectacular. The editing experience is really smooth. There's AI assistance every step of the way, and it's just, the content editor is absolutely brilliant. I slightly prefer Phrases, but Surfer's is really good too. The one caveat with Surfer is the price. Things are going to get expensive fast, but if you're part of an SEO team or a marketing agency, then I would think Surfer is definitely one of the options for you. Overall, highly recommended for SEO if you have the budget. Number 3, and the bigger surprise of the day for me, Junia AI. So I only recently found out about Junia AI. It had a lifetime deal on AppSumo, which I'm now kicking myself for not getting. And I just simply added it to the list and I'd review it. I thought, great, another AI writer. How wrong I was. It was absolutely brilliant from start to finish. Very nice, clean UI, great workflow, articles generated fast, added images, added links, pretty much did everything I wanted to from an AI writer. Junia finished 3rd overall on SEO scores, which is a brilliant result for an AI writer. And they have this really nice AI SEO editor for allowing you to optimize the content and change the content once the article has already been generated. I love additional extras like this, and I think these platforms need to be taking advantage of AI as much as possible. Overall, I'm sticking Junia on my highly recommended and also want to watch list, because if the product is this good already, then it's just going to get better and better. I absolutely loved it, and you will too. Number 2, Koala. Well, what can I say? Koala was spectacular on every front. It's a very well-known writer. It was one of the first to optimize for SEO, and you can see that it's been perfecting its craft for a long time. It was super easy to use. I got from keyword to outline to article generation very, very quickly. I had multiple different customization options, but only things that I wanted, relevant things. I was able to switch easily for different models over to Claude and things like that, and the output was spectacular. In fact, it blew the competition away on the first article, Sustainable Tips for Beginner Gardeners. In fact, it was the only writer on this list to score above 80 on a single article without any editing. Absolutely great. My only gripe with Koala, and to be honest with you, I'm nitpicking here, is that it does lack some of the features built for agencies. So if you're a solo blogger, a solo niche site owner, or even a solo SEO, it would be perfect. I think if you're part of an agency and you want those extra features, team features, and extra SEO features, that a Surfer, that a Frase, or that a Scalenut has, you're going to be lacking those things there. But overall, guys, it was excellent, and I highly recommend Koala for SEO. Number 1, Journalist AI. So Journalist AI was solid in every single area, had really good SEO scores and also really good readability and human readability inside Hemingway and on my own personal review. It was the outright number 1 for the second keyword, the learning SEO, which most of the AI writers on the list seem to struggle on. So that was a nice out. It's really easy to use, and you get from keyword to article generation fast too. It also has a really, really nice AI SEO editor, similar to Junia, where you're able to use the AI options to format the text in the way you want to, make it longer, make it shorter, etc., add extra keywords, and also very easily add external and internal links. It saves a lot of time. It's also the best autoblogger on the list, and it is the best on the list for adding images, for adding YouTube videos, and also adding links in an autopilot mode. And just to expand a little bit about why this is the best autoblogger on the list, one of the reasons is this feature here. So if we click on blog automation, go to feeds. So what feeds is, it's really, really awesome, okay? What it does is it sets up a feed that tracks your competitors' keywords. So when they start ranking for keywords, it'll appear in your feed. Now, if you connect it to the auto blogging system inside Journalist, every time that happens, it'll produce a piece of content to target that keyword. It's like a cheat code for SEO, okay? As soon as your competitors are out there ranking for keywords, you start putting out content for that too, okay? It's really, really awesome. So you can create a feed like this, set up a keyword feed. So I just done a dummy one earlier for gardening, and we can see already it's given me. So how I set it up was I put in a website URL, Epic Gardening. That's obviously not mine. I put in some seed keywords. So basically, you enter in your seed keywords, and all the keywords that the feed generates are based off these seed keywords. And then I entered in a few competitors, okay? And obviously you can put in as many competitors as you want, okay? And then save it. And then basically what it does, it comes up with all the different keywords, the volumes, and the keyword difficulties, okay? And there's a couple of pages, 2 pages of results here to get started with. And you can go ahead and you can click and you can remove the ones you don't want to generate content for. Now, Steve, what if what happens when you run out of keywords, right? Well, this doesn't, every 48 hours, it refreshes, okay? And you can obviously update it with more seed keywords, update it with more competitors, it's up to you. But look how awesome this is, okay? So we connect this up to, so I'm gonna say, we'll do this one here. Click on gardening blog, did it earlier. And basically, this is set up to go with that feed. So here we go, feed gardening competition. And it's gonna auto blog, generate articles from the feed, from the keywords generated by the feed. So we set the interval, how many pieces of content or how often articles should be generated, okay? Every day, every week, every 2 days, articles per batch, all right? And then we can also set up article preferences. So look at all the customization options you have here, okay? In terms of content, your target country, your point of view, your tone of voice, your formality. You can even upload your knowledge base, okay? So you can actually take your website materials, your social media, any documents you have, and the Journalist AI itself will train it on them, okay? It's really awesome. Of course, formatting, structure of the articles, you can put your own CTAs in, etc. However long your article to be, pretty standard, okay? But the internal and external linking here can be done from a campaign level and an auto blogging level, and you can change the settings for that, okay? Add external sources if you want, and then also from a campaign level, add the images as well. And they use, I think it's DALL-E 3 to generate images, or you can use stock images, it's up to you. And of course, YouTube videos, okay? So going back to what I talked about at the beginning of the video, okay? The process I want to see from an AI writer, keywords, SERP analysis, okay, and auto blogging features such as this. So it's far and away the best auto blogger that I have found, okay, because not only can you just do everything you want to do with auto blogging with AI SEO, you can also have it steal your competitors' traffic as well. It's like a cheat code. It's awesome. So hopefully you can see that from here, from this video. Ultimately, there was very little to separate journalist, Koala, and Junia, and it just came down to personal preference and what I thought was easiest to use. So there you have it. Hopefully by now you have a good idea about which AI writers are good and which ones are not so much. Ultimately, there is no best AI writer. It comes down to which is the best one for you and your needs. My personal favorite on the list was Journalist AI, and I have managed to secure an exclusive discount if you decide to try it out. Although you get the first 3 articles free anyway, so there you go. I will get a small kickback in return if you do decide to use the link in my description, but I just want to say at this point, a big thank you for watching my video. What I will say before ending is that the competition was very strong at the top, and there was very little to separate some of the platform writers. In my opinion, Journalist and Koala were the best for niche sites, for bloggers, and for SEOs, and that was also reflected in the SEO scores and readability. Junia AI completely took me by surprise and is definitely one to watch for the future. If you're part of an SEO team or a marketing agency and you have the budget, Surfer, Frase, and Scalenut have all the tools that you need. Hypotenuse is probably your best bet if you're into ecom and you need to update lots of product descriptions at once. Blaze was super fun to use and is a great choice to go with if you want to do lots of social media writing away from SEO. And if you're on a really tight budget, then SEO writing might be the one for you. Do let me know in the comments what your thoughts are on this video, and you have any comments at all about each individual writer. I'm happy to address any kind of questions or concerns on each one. And lastly, don't forget to sign up to the Next Gen AI newsletter in the description below. I send out 1 issue a week and you'll get all my prompts and tricks and AI related stuff in there. Look out for that one. And that's it. So it's Steve from Next Gen AI, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you very much. Now, just one last thing before I go, I promise. I actually went away and told the guys at Journalist AI that they finished first in this test, and obviously they were super stoked about the result. So they've done something that they've never done before, and they've actually given me an exclusive 50% off your first monthly subscription with Journalist AI, okay? They've never done that before. I'm the only person who's got that. If you use the code Steven at checkout, all right, you get 50% off your first month, and you're already getting the best AI writer on the market, okay, in my opinion, and now you're getting a 50% discount. Pretty good, right? They've also told me that anyone who signs up through my link will also get a one-to-one onboarding call with the team to discuss your SEO plan and your needs. Okay, so guys, it's a really great offer, and like I say, if you watched the video all the way through, well done, thank you very much. And hopefully this offer will sweeten the deal for you. This video has taken a long time to make, so I would really appreciate if you do decide to test out the best AI writer out there. If you do go through my link below and use the code Stephen, I will get a small kickback, but any support is greatly appreciated, but of course not expected. Finally, definitely go in this time, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you very much.